Hey folks, welcome back to the fourth installment of Dead Matter Explained. I'm super excited to bring you this one as I feel it's going to be a topic that has a lot of questions surrounding it. Hopefully, this video will answer some of those questions. Thank you for supporting this series so far, and if you haven't watched the other videos in this series, you can check that out from my Dead Matter playlist I have on my channel. So far, we've looked at the way the world will change around us whilst exploring Alberta, how base building will work, and how the inventory system is shaping up so far. This time, we're looking at weapons. We'll be looking at the mechanics surrounding the shooty bang bang sticks that make the zombies go night night, as well as touching on ammo, armour, and modding of firearms. In the zombie apocalypse, not every weapon is made equal. Naturally, different firearms and melee weapons are going to be right for different tasks. In Dead Matter, your character will be able to carry 2 main weapons on their back. From there, you can gain up to 2 further weapon slots with various clothing items. You can find a full description of how this will work in my last video titled Inventory and Storage. The developers have fully accepted the importance of diversity when it comes to our arsenal and has already created a whole host of weapons for us to use. What impressed me most was the sheer scope of the melee weapons available. There's a good likelihood that we can find something to grab in a pinch in most environments to bash a zombie skull to bits. Crafting of firearms is not going to be possible, but we will be able to put together an improvised melee weapon. Makeshift machetes were the example that I was given. So, where in the world can we get our hands on some of these boomsticks? Well, the developers have been understandably tight-lipped on specific locations, urging us to explore and find these on our own. But it has been made clear that certain areas will spawn higher tier weaponry that won't be found elsewhere. You won't find an M16 in someone's cupboard, but you might find it at a military checkpoint, for example. This goes for various attachments too. You won't find an ACOG scope under the kitchen sink. Thanks for that one, Reggie. One important note, however, is that attachments could be found on weapons when you initially find them. There will be a whole range of mods available from scopes, lasers, foregrips, and stocks. Longer range scopes and other high-end military attachments will be rarer, just like weapons themselves. Dead Matter will implement a ranging system, which is currently planned to be tied directly to which scope you're using at a given time. Some scopes will have higher magnification and will allow for longer ranging. When it comes to modding your weapon, certain things can be managed on the fly whilst you're out in the world, such as attaching a laser device to the handguard. If you wanted to, say, change out the stock of a weapon, however, you'd need to head home and use a workbench. You'll also be able to fold the stock of certain weapons to save inventory space, or make it more effective in close quarters combat. Currently, it's planned for modding to have its own window separate from the inventory screen for an immersive experience. We'll see how this develops in the weeks and months to come. Modding of weaponry is a huge thing for me, especially when it gives certain control over how your weapon performs at different ranges and in different environments. My current main game is Escape from Tarkov, and whilst the game has its flaws, weapon modding is detailed and has genuine effects on your weaponry. Most just opt to build the statistically strongest build, since money isn't usually an issue once you reach a certain point in this game. In a game like Dead Matter, however, we'll be affected simply by what we can get our hands on, not the economics behind it. We'll always be in search of our next upgrade for our favourite piece, something to think about. Currently, we aren't sure how many different ammo types we'll see, but one thing that the developers have mentioned is that they'll be aiming to keep this simple to avoid confusing players when it comes to the ammo that your weapon needs. Expect ammo types like 5.56 and 7.62, but I very much doubt that we'll see different types of ammo within these categories. At the moment, this is just speculation, so something to keep an eye on as time progresses. Armour will come in various different forms and tiers with differences in how they'll absorb damage. Dead Matter will use a damage threshold system, so no armour will be impenetrable. Let's say your armour has a threshold of 50 damage, and you get shot with a round that does 100 damage. The armour you're wearing will protect for up to 50 of that damage, whilst the rest will be done to you directly. Interestingly, because you're wearing armour, you may not be bleeding after you've been shot, or have a bullet stuck in your body. This brings me nicely to the last point I wanted to touch on, which was how injuries will affect your usage of weapons and other activities for that matter. In the future, I'd like to cover the medical system fully, but in the meantime, it's worth looking at how this will affect the gunplay specifically. Let's say you break your hand during a scrap with the local undead. This will affect your ability to load your magazines, hold your weapon steady, and your hipfire accuracy. Different injuries will have different effects on how you carry out multiple tasks in Dead Matter, using weapons being just one of these. That brings us to the end of this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel. Was there something you wanted to know about the weapon system in Dead Matter? Something you would change? Let me know in the comments. Feel free to also head over to the Dead Matter Discord, where you can ask the developers any questions on this. This will be a link in the description. You can also support Dead Matter's development by purchasing a backer package on their Indiegogo page, giving you access to the closed alpha, early access, and full release. There will also be a link for this in the description. Lastly, you can check out my Twitch stream on twitch.tv/Mr. Atomic Duck. I stream every day at 2:30 PM UK time. Stop by sometime. Thanks again, guys. See you in the next one.